Oh, you guys haven't been able to hear me the whole time. That makes sense as to why it was grayed out. So I was just going on a whole monologue of making sure that you can hear me and hear the music at the same time. So you guys haven't been able to hear me the whole time. That makes sense. I was wondering if the volume needs to go up on the music, which it looks like that should be okay. Right there, you can hear me. You can probably hear the music as well when it's actually playing. Possibly even bump that up to right there. Yeah. Just in case we get a loud song. We'll leave it right there. Should be good. Testing. Testing. Alright, I think I got it figured out. Okay. You should be able to hear me. I should be able to hear you. Not really, but the music we can hear. Now it's half as loud as my mic most of the time, so. Where were we? Yes, Stratini. Thank you, Marcus. Feels so weird being back to this grind after so long of... I mean, really, it hasn't been so long. I've just only done this particular challenge on Saturday night and Monday night. But it feels like it's been a very long time since the last time we did this. Oh no. It's been long enough that I let that happen. Ouch. Okay, how do I fix this? I just barely set this one up, so I think I know what I need to do. Cancel. Transform. Edit transform. 240. 230. It is, and then we just need to scrunch that there. That's how we did it. Okay. Oh, what's going on? What was the name of the trainer? That was the puppet ruler of Team Plasma, and used either Reshiram or Zekrom, depending on the game. Hey, Starkiller, welcome. Welcome. Oh, I almost got. That would have been dumb. Oh, we got double Marcus. Marcus, Jay wants to know the name of this trainer. This one, right here. He wants to know his name. What's his name? What's his name, Marcus? Oh, you don't know the name? You never play Black and White, Marcus? Actually, that shouldn't be a shocker to me, honestly. Oh, how did I survive that? His name is N. Literally, the letter N is his name. Yeah, Marcus and I had a good chat about his date earlier today. I streamed a whole lot of not shiny Applin finding earlier today. Yeah, Marcus forgot to align his chakras before going on the date, I guess. He was giving off Nine-Tail Fox energy when she wanted Sasuke Uchiha energy. Hey, look above, break below, welcome. It's going well. It's going well. Applin is really easy to shiny hunt. Yes, you are absolutely right about that, Jay. Go into that apple orchard in Kitakami with a dragon sandwich. Still was unsuccessful in finding it after 3 sandwiches, so we're gonna see if I can evolve a Dratini today. As soon as I evolve a Dratini, maybe a Poliwag, I'm going to look at ending this stream and picking back up on SV, because I really want to burn through that quest as well and finish these kind of around the same time is the hope, so that I can then go and complete the dex, get the shiny charm on that file, and have that ready to go for shiny hunting, because I do want to see if I can complete the shiny dex in that game. The Channel Killer stream. Yeah. Tuesdays and Saturdays, we're going to grind through this, and then we'll switch to gold and crystal. We'll grind through that one. And we'll take a hiatus from that one when ZA comes out, of course. Actually, I might wait until ZA hype dies before conquering Crystal. We don't know. I got enough stuff to do to wait until October. That's 4 months away. Well, 3.5. Ooh. Sorry, Dratini. We're not gonna evolve you very fast if I keep this nonsense up. On the bright side, Poliwag is looking okay. And until I, try to get got. Light goal was hit. Light goal was hit. Let me check. Let me peep that. I show 13. Let me do a quick peek-see here. For some reason, my stream review won't let me chat there. I see 14 likes. But hey, if everybody who is concurrently viewing right now hits that like button, we will definitely hit the like goal. There's 8 people watching. I bet there's 3 that haven't hit the like button yet. You see 15 too? Everybody sees 15? Hey, there's 15. That warrants a new like goal. Jay, if you would so kindly utilize your membership perks for the good of the channel. There you go, Jay. Killing it. That like goal didn't stand a chance against Jay. Okay, we got a little 14 Poliwag. Got 11 more levels there. 16 now. See, I knew 3 people didn't hit like. I knew it. I know what's up. I know what's up. I do what I can. Oh. Yes. If I could quit attacking these high-level Pokemon with these low-level Pokemon, I will be doing so much better. What's scary is we've had 43 views on the stream already. But for every 3 views, we have 1 like, so that's something. 1/3 like ratio, let's keep it going. Oh, that was a waste. Let's go heal some Pokemans. Oh, the select button for items. Huge quality of life improvement. Can I describe the difference between hyperphantasia and aphantasia? I have before on the channel. If I remember correctly, the difference is 1, when you read about a bright red shining apple, I believe it's aphantasia, that you see nothing. You don't see a bright red shiny apple in your head. But hyperphantasia, you would see that image in your mind. If I am remembering correctly. It refers to the ability to picture an object in your mind and recall it in detail. Or, better yet, hyperphantasia, you would see a bright red, sparkly, shiny apple with a glossy sheen on it. If I described it to you, or you were reading it in a book. The other one, aphantasia, you would just see kind of more like an apple. Just the shape, the outline, just something like that. Applin isn't real. Applin can't imagine an apple. There we go.
People, there's hyperphantasia and there's aphantasia or aphantasia. So you know what it's supposed to look like, but you don't see an image. You just know that you're trying to imagine an apple. So you got red fruit, sweet, round. You have a general idea of what an apple looks like, but you can't picture it. And then there's like, okay, you can kind of picture it, but it's a shadow. Then there is, okay, you can see a dark apple, you can kind of see an apple, you can see a sharper apple, and then you have hyperphantasia, which is you can see detail for detail what that looks like. I have hyperphantasia. Like my entire family does. We can see blueprints in our mind. We can see how to take things apart in our mind and walk people through step by step on how they would need to do it just by like imagining what we're doing. Somebody will ask us how we do something, how do we fix this, how do we do that, and we'll just go into full like IT mode, full troubleshoot and tech support mode, and just like, okay, we need to do this. You need to go here. You need to go here. You need to go here. Remove this screw. Remove this panel. Move this wire over here. Like, we can do that stuff all in our freaking mind because we're weird, I guess.
There you go. I don't know how well that came across audio wise, but that was the breakdown. Then Goldango can't imagine money. Perhaps. Oh, good job, Pharaoh. Use that payday. New channel section idea. Science and psychology lessons. Could happen. I like science. Science is pretty neat. Sounded like I was really hyperactive. Because it was a short, deducted from a stream, it was at like 1.4% speed. So it was definitely sped up. You feel like you have both? I guess that means you're the majority of people, but you fluctuate depending on involvement in the topic at hand or something. You know what, Jay? That is a fantastic question. A drift blimp is a hot air balloon. It's also a ghost. How much energy does it have to consume to lift a child and take them to the afterlife? That's a great question. What is the G-force required to lift that child off the ground? Oh, yeah, I'll turn the music back on now. Maybe it uses windmills from BD and SP? Maybe. I mean, it is a fire ghost type, so like the idea is that it is burning its own fuel to like inflate itself and make it float. Can Doduo actually fly though? Actually, I think it can. It just runs really, really fast. So the air doesn't have time to let its foot fall through. Because, I mean, if you move your hand fast enough through the air, you actually won't be able to move it. There is a speed at which an object can reach where if it suddenly hit the air, it would be like a wall because the air physically cannot warp around it fast enough. but I don't know what that speed would have to be. But it is the same concept of you jumping 100 meters into water and hitting it like concrete. It can't dissipate fast enough for you to pass through it. Speaking of the brain, you think people in school are starting to not like you because you can sleep through lessons and then ace all the work? And one time you were sleeping and the teacher dropped a textbook and you jolted awake? Ask the question and immediately you just spat out the correct answer while half asleep. We got a lot in common, Marcus. We got a lot in common. I love it. Sleep type Mewtwo. Snooze too? I was like that with science and history, Marcus, and a little bit of math. When I was in high school, I had a biology class that they made me take. Well, they didn't make me take that one specifically. I should back up. I had more credits than I needed to graduate my senior year. I literally just needed 3 classes in order to graduate. Unfortunately, due to the setup of my school system at the time, I could only take Government A first trimester or second trimester. And I had to take Government A before I could take Government B, obviously. And then there was another class where I had to have Government A done before I could take it too. But I couldn't get it in second trimester. So basically what that meant was I had to take Government A first try, Government B second try, and then third try I was able to take this third class. Previously, the year before, if you only needed to go to school for one class, you were welcome to do so. You would then go home for the rest of the day. Would have been lovely. My school decided my senior year they were going to change that. So you need like 60 credits to graduate. I graduated with 75 because they're like, okay, if you're in school for one class, we're not allowing that anymore. If you are going to school this trimester, you have to have your class schedule full of classes. You have to take 5 classes because there's 5 periods in a day because you need one class. So that caused me to have to take 12 credits that I didn't need to graduate. What I ended up doing the first trimester was I retook a biology class because the policy of the school was if you take a class and you get a better grade, they will sponge the worst grade retaking the class. They'll erase the worst grade. Well, I had already gotten like a B plus in biology, so I went in to the class and just talked to the teacher day one. Like, hey, this is what happened to my schedule. I don't need this class. I have to have something here because the administration says so. I will not be turning in assignments. I don't care if you fail me. My parents don't care if you fail me. I've already passed this class. Here's my report card from that class. And he's like, oh, okay. Fair enough. Tell you what. I'm just going to plug your grade into the system for you. You got a 83% in that class, you're getting an 83% in this class. Unless you want to try to do better on your grade, which, frankly, if you don't, I don't blame you because a B plus is good enough, you know? But you got an 83 in that class, I'm going to give you an 83 in this one. I hate what they did to this policy. So he just input my grade just because can. He was a cool teacher. Hey, look above. You have a great time breaking below. Get some good rest. And then for the remainder of my classes, I worked the system. We didn't have like a culinary arts class, but what we did have was like a class where you could go into the kitchen and help with the school lunch. So I went and did the sack lunches, you know, just for fun. You know, it was a culinary arts class is what they called it. I did that for a class hour, and then eventually told, because the manager there was friends with my mom, because my mom was a manager at one of the other school lunch kitchens. I was like, hey, I need a bowl crap class to fill an hour time slot to say that I'm helping. So basically it was a TA spot, more or less, where I got to have a class hour to be a TA. And yeah, they just said, okay, we'll mark you down here every day, whatever. And I took this bullcrap 0 hour class and went and told them, like, hey, listen, the school's policy screwing me over. I have a kid to watch at home, not mine. My parents adopted my niece, so I would go and pick her up from daycare, essentially, so that they didn't have as high of a daycare cost. And then I took 2 work release classes because I had a job. So I got around our school's bullcrap policy by taking the maximum amount of work release class hours I possibly could, which was 2. Talked to the school lunch to have them do a TA position for me there. Had a class that I had to be at, and then had a 0 hour where they just marked me present. It was fantastic. I finagled that so that I really only had 1 class, but I would go home throughout the day and, well, not throughout the day. I would go to my first hour class and then be done with school by 10 a.m. every day, my senior year. And I would go watch my niece, and when my mom got home from work, I would go to work. I worked at a car shop all through high school. Did brake jobs, some electrical work, all that fun stuff. It was great. Are you just me in a high school kid's body? Because everything I've said so far is literally you. That's awesome. You're pretty much explaining everything you've gone through and what you've been told. So you were going to graduate with extra credits as well, and they're just like, nah, you have to have class hours. Stupid policies. I'm gonna go make sure that my kid's food situation is taken care of. Oh, Marcus, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that they're screwing you over. You had home economic studies at your high school, learned sewing and cooking. We actually didn't have that at my high school. It blew my mind. Could have graduated last year, but you had got pushed out of a class because there was too many people and it was required credits, so you only have one class next year and you're taking work program and redoing science class that you already passed because they made you like, oh hey, you have to have this class hour. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Apparently it's pretty common to screw your students over that way. But if they do, Marcus, they don't get their funding. My school's problem was the state will only fund them based on how many hours the kid is at school. So if you are there one class hour, they don't get any funding for you being there. At least for Idaho. Now, if they can make you there 5 hours, 5 class hours, they get their full funding. If they get you there 3 class hours, they get partial funding. That was my plan, Jay, to take AP college classes my entire senior year. Yeah, that was my plan. But by the time I got to my senior year and found that out, I couldn't. That and they didn't have enough AP college classes. Oh. I remember why I didn't take AP college, AP biology. because it was an AP class, because it was for college credit, and our teachers were high school teachers, they did not know how to teach college classes. So what they ended up doing was saying, okay, here's a college class. They made it so much harder than any college biology class entry level needed to be. We're talking like you're taking a biology class and you have to memorize every single bone in the body. Memorize every single bone in the body. You have to memorize every single muscular system in the body and muscles that go inside it. Like, this isn't a pre-med biology class. But it might as well have been. And I was like, nope. Nope, not doing it. Gotcha, Jay. Yeah, I didn't go full term college either. You had to take dual cred music appreciation because that's the only class you could get into because all the other classes were full. Eesh. It was so easy. The teacher was a band director, so he was focused on band stuff. You pretty much watched movies and appreciated the music. You just have to appreciate this. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Yeah. And I had no intentions on being a doctor, so I'm like, this is not me. Like, give me a computer science class. And I didn't want my senior year experience ruined by the stress of having to memorize stupid stuff that I would never need to know again. Like, whatever this particular segment of finger bone is. The biology teacher told you that you should take the other biology class that gears more towards if you were becoming a doctor, and you told him no plans on going towards that field, but I respect the people that do. Yeah, I mean, if it ain't for you, why take it? Ain't need no time wasting. We told you you'd probably be close to the top of the class. Extend my medial phalanges. Bless you. Being at the top of the class is pretty cool. A little bit of a flex. That's what I was doing. Right. I remember what I was doing. He's the top of class in Basic 1 while pretty much only sleeping. I think that's a bigger flex. Honestly, yeah. For my retake of biology that I didn't need, I watched through the entirety of Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z on my iPod Classic. I just sat there with my hood up and either slept or watched anime. The teacher would still randomly pick on me to ask questions, but like you waking up out of nowhere and just popping off, that was me. And you know, sometimes the teacher will ask a question to the class and then, you know, there is a right answer. They're waiting for the class to answer and nobody in the class is answering. So I would be a bro sometimes and just be like, if it was waiting for too long, I would just offer up the answer out of nowhere, just without even looking up type stuff. Just, oh yeah, you know this. What? Did I not get refreshing water? Oh, right. This game's stupid. It's gotta be T. Sorry, I'm also like multitasking with fire red, leaf green. Gather students for a sleep study for science. When I was in 8th grade, we had this teacher who absolutely went crazy about whitewater rafting. Like, that's what they lived for. Like, they taught purely so they could get the summer break and have all summer break to go rafting. That was them. Every day for 2 weeks, somebody in the class would ask him a question about a specific thing about whitewater rafting. Like, and kids were doing their research and like finding these obscure terms to have him educate us on. Because if we got him talking about it, the bell would ring before homework was given, and then he wouldn't give homework. So like 8 out of 10 days we did this for 2 weeks in school, where we got him talking about that, and like he just didn't assign us homework for that entire time. The beginning of week 3, somebody tried it and he had caught on by then. And so he sent him to the principal's office for disrupting the class, for asking the question. That's your geometry class, except for it was his mango farm in India? That's hilarious. Same grade, 8th grade, I had a math teacher, Mr. Fujimoto. It was a first hour math class. This was the math class I was doing the homework for the day it was due, in class, the class hour it was due, and turning it in before class was over. Like, I did the homework in class. If I didn't do it early, like in the class it was assigned in, I was doing it during the class hour. And Mr. Fujimoto was awesome. So like, me and my friends would frequently get off the bus and we would run across the street and grab donuts from the grocery store there. And occasionally we would be late getting back. And it was basically like, if you're going to be late, you brought Mr. Fujimoto a bagel and he pretended he didn't see you walk in late. Social studies for you. The teacher was big into surfing. Oh, that's what's up. I take it you didn't go to school in where you live currently, because aren't you landlocked where you're at, Jay? I feel like you've thrown out Ohio before, somewhere over there, but I could be confusing your location with Starkillers. But I think Starkiller is St. Louis. That was your first block teacher last year? Man, I'm just you from the future. You're gonna have an awesome YouTube channel one day, Marcus. We have lakes, no oceans. You have a river, though. Yeah, last I checked, those weren't super great for surfing. Graduated 51 out of 1,000 students in 1997. I was 3 years old. St. Augustine High, the Eastern Shore of Florida. Pennsylvania, that's where it is. Pennsylvania. Yeah. I could see how your teacher would be big into surfing, living in Florida. Had a 4.1 GPA. I had like a 3.26 GPA. Wasn't stellar. And here I thought in 2012 when I graduated that AP classes were pretty new to high schools. Must have taken Idaho just a while to catch on. Your first Pokemon was a Charmander that you named Cole in Red version in 1995. It's interesting that you bought Pokemon basically being a junior in high school. For me, I had Pokemon when I was a kid. Everybody got to like junior high, middle school, and they're like, oh man, Pokemon's for losers. We're cool kids. We're not playing Pokemon. And then by the end of high school, going into college, everybody my age range was like, Pokemon's the coolest. Starkiller graduated from an alternative school after getting kicked out of your high school, and it was required to have a B or A to pass the classes. We have a, I think most alternative schools are like that. It's more of a pass-fail system versus a grade system. I mean, that makes sense, Jay. There was no Gengar when you were a kid. You had packets that you filled out, and the answer keys were kept in your classroom, so you would sit next to the file cabinet and take the answer keys and fill the packets out. That's what's up. Big IQ move, Starkiller. Funny story. I actually took 2 classes from the alternative high school that are on my GPA, on my transcript. Might have been 4. For sure 2, though. I did those in junior high because I had some sort of beef with an English class being a whole semester long, covering a book topic of some sort. And so I did a 2-week long packet from the, well, it wasn't supposed to be 2 weeks long. It was supposed to take me longer. I did an English class in 2 weeks, essentially. I speed ran it. And that class messed with me a little bit. So I think my reasoning for doing this English class was to get around some sort of mandatory, you have to read this specific book English class for 9th grade or 10th grade, something like that. And it wasn't the Count of Monte Cristo. There was a really, really popular book that the English classes liked to make kids read. And I can't remember what it was. But instead of doing that, I went to the alternative high school to enroll for one of these classes, and basically I think I tested out of one of them, and then did an English class for another one. And I had to read a book called Flowers for Algernon. They gave me like 5 books to choose from, and that was more ideal than here's this one very specific book. You have to read this to pass the class. And it was a stupid book. But Flowers for Algernon. Whew. That book messed with me. I don't probably never heard of the book. Basically, the premise is that there's this hotshot scientist doing brain surgery. They're practicing on rats, wanting to do human trials, all that fun stuff. And it's supposed to correct cognitive function in brains. So they meet this mentally handicapped individual, and you know, he has learning disabilities, doesn't have any social skills, can't talk to girls type person, and speak with his caretakers, and it's decided that he's a good candidate for this trial, and they go through and do it. Well, it works so well that he basically ends up getting his doctorate in record time, and starts researching with the person that performed the surgery on him. And through this all, he becomes really, really ridiculously smart, gets a girlfriend, gains social skills, and then it hits like a tipping point similar to like Alzheimer's and dementia, where he starts deteriorating. Like, and he researches this person's findings enough to correct their formula for the next people going forward, but he also realizes in the process the error that the mouse candidate has. He starts tracking the mouse, and the mouse starts to decline, and so he projects that onto his own condition, and like, oh my gosh, this is what's going to happen to me. And he calculates that curve and then figures out how to like fix it for other people going forward. but yeah, he becomes really cocky about his intelligence and doesn't treat his girlfriend very nicely. There are no problems, only solutions that you have not thought of yet. You were a nightwear in high school? The worst you've done is climb through the ceiling and drop down in the classroom to scare one of your friends. You got into the ceiling by climbing onto the toilet and into the ceiling and then just crawled over to the classroom. Wow. There you go. It's pretty dope. It's lucky you didn't fall in the wrong classroom. That would have been hilarious. Most English classes loved Great Expectations and Portrait of Dorian Gray. Think of it as Stephen King's Lawnmower Man. Or the movie Limitless. Okay. One of my classes I managed to get into take that I really loved, they let us do a mythology class. So they went over like Greek, Norse, Egyptian mythology. They did shoot, what is it? The world's oldest written story. I think might have something to do with Braveheart or something. That might not be right. Brascoin's catching up. Yeah. Slowly but surely. Who knows what the oldest recorded story is? Like, as far as written records of. Does that make sense? The Epic of Gilgamesh is one of them. We covered that. It's not Braveheart. Maybe I am thinking of the Epic of Gilgamesh. It probably was the Epic of Gilgamesh. But we covered the Iliad, the Odyssey, Epic of Gilgamesh. Yeah, you were right, Marcus. You were right. Huh. He stole my sandals. Oh, I need to go and heal. Oh, we also covered like Hindu mythology as well. The Ramayana a little bit. We had like 3 to 4 week long sections. The craziest thing to me about like going through all of those different mythologies is it seems to me that whether it's a, you know, Christianity or mythology or basically anything like that, multiple gods, there's always like a big three. Uh-oh. I might have just screwed up. I rubbed my eyes. It felt amazing, but I might have just caused them to swell up a little bit. Yeah, it was a pretty fun class. You gotta see a lot of correlations and similarities. Polytheism, yeah. So like Christianity has the Godhead, you know, God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. all being the same individual from the bulk of Christianity, but like Roman and Greek mythology would have Neptune, Poseidon, and somebody else I forget. Zeus, Neptune, Poseidon. Neptune's not one of them. Zeus and Poseidon and Hades. Neptune, Jupiter, and I forget the third Greek big guy. They're basically the same. Jupiter, Neptune, Pluto, Zeus, Poseidon, Hades. There we go. That's what I was trying to... Listen, the irony of the 9th planet in our solar system being named Pluto after the Greek god of the underworld, of the dead, and then us deciding to say it's not a planet anymore. It's pretty funny. Yeah, Jupiter is Zeus, Neptune is Poseidon. And their dad was Cronus? Yes. Kronos. Time. I'll be right back. I need to go blow my nose. Yep, I accidentally put too much pressure on my eye. So I just popped some Benadryl. So it's gonna get unhinged. Last time I did that, I was like micro sleeping on you guys, and you would put a message in, I would read it, forget to respond out loud, respond in my head, let it progress, and then like randomly say a sentence out of nowhere that has like, you know, 3 logic leaps from there. And make no sense whatsoever. So we're gonna try not to do that this time. It's also everybody talking about every other subject. Yeah. You never know what's gonna come up. We can talk about anything at any time, and it is okay. Oh man. Oh yeah, I think I've heard something like that, Jay. But I thought I registered that. Well, maybe I'm thinking of the Greek gods. Yeah, there's Chaos, Tartarus, Echidna, Gaia, Nyx, Crebius. Wow. Zeus is a lot farther down on the family tree than I gave him credit for. So is Hercules not a real thing? I think it is time for me to go to bed. The baby is crying. My eye is being crazy. So we're gonna save and we're gonna turn it off, and we'll catch you guys probably tomorrow at some point. We'll see if my eye can calm down a little bit. Have a good night, Jay. Have a great night, Marcus. Anybody else who's watching. Everybody have a great night.